Good afternoon, my name is Kirsty Dignam and I'm here to look at the energies for this week's Monday's Musings. Now I say this week because I have to be 100% honest here. It's not actually Monday, it's the Saturday before. And that's for several reasons. One, it is more convenient for me and it feels this week is okay to be okay with that. It's okay to recognise what works for you and what doesn't work for you and adapt your situations accordingly rather than adapt yourself to your environment this week. The second thing is I really feel an emphasis on divine timing. I'm actually sat on my stool facing the other direction, but what it's doing is enabling me to have the opportunity to rest. Okay, so that feels quite poignant this week, that divine timing is there also not to make our life hard. So how many times do we say, well, you know, all in divine timing, as if we have no choice in that, no power in that, or, you know, it was taken out of my hands, or actually this week really feels about flipping the narrative in regards to divine timing and recognizing that you don't need to put a whole day off to rest. You don't need to go on holiday to actually vacate from what is occurring around you. You don't need to have such dramatic shifts in the energy in order to benefit from what is available at the moment. So I bring that to the surface as well because, as I mentioned, today is Saturday and this weekend, you know, I was walking my dog just now and it's like there's so much energy coming through. You know, we have the equinox at the end of the week. We have the new moon in Aries. There's so much potential there about standing in who we are and really shining our light. And those desperate new beginnings that many have been yearning for if we choose to stand in that. However, that's next week. So even though I'm doing a reading on the energies of next week, I'm doing it from the position that I'm in at the moment before it occurs. And that again feels very relevant for next week to, yes, see where things may be going, but to take stock from where you actually are and recognize we can only see so far into the future based on our present moment, which feels like key, especially if we are then going to put more time aside to make that present moment more valuable, because it's that makes timing divine. So hold on, I just need a drink. The other thing for me at the moment, I'm in the process of trying to arrange a celebration. Now, this week, if we can, or rather actually make opportunities to celebrate what has occurred, that feels incredibly important this week as we start to think about the changes that we're trying to bring in to really flip the narrative. You know, again, divine timing, when we look back, we can go, oh yes, that happened because of X, Y, and Z. We don't have to look back to recognize the power, the presence, and the beauty of divine timing. All we need to do is acknowledge our own role in it. So I feel drawn to do the video now. I could question that. I could put 1,000,001 reasons in front of why that's not a good idea, but actually I feel drawn to do the video now. So I went into that. Why would I feel that? This weekend we have Chiron and Jupiter, and I think they're conjunct. All I know is they're doing some big massive shifts together. So any healing of the wounded healer in particular, anything that we may have tried to shift but not been able to maneuver away from or open up to or acknowledge or recognize, that is coming to the forefront and it's going to be expanded by Jupiter. It's all about how we play it. So if we see this as an opportunity to repeat the cycles, again, no judgment there, then that is what's going to occur. Myself this morning, I woke up to several potential paths in that direction. And it was about taking stock and resting on my laurels, if you will. Resting, really looking at what was occurring and choosing, which is the poignant part for next week, choosing not to repeat that cycle because it's there that the biggest healing occurs. This weekend in particular, with Chiron and with Jupiter, we're talking soul wounds coming to the surface and the most incredible opportunity to stand in who we are and who we've always been, but only by recognizing that in our actions. And that really is key. Do our actions match where we're at? And if not, do we want to change that? And if not, how are we going to change that? So I did have a womb study booked for Sunday, which is before you will see this video. And there has been no uptake on the womb study. which has given me an opportunity to turn it into an online version. So it is very much this week about adapting your surroundings to you and what you offer, not the other way around. So I could very much go, well, no one wants to come to the womb study day, I won't bother doing that anymore. That isn't what I felt. What I felt was to acknowledge what was going on for everyone around me as well, to remember that this isn't personal, and to do my gentle best and take everything with a pinch of salt. So we're talking the 5 agreements. I've forgotten his name, it's gone from my mind. I will put it in the comments. Yeah, it's absolutely gone from my mind. But the 5 agreements here, you know, to do your best in a situation, to not take things personally, to actually go deeper, ask more questions. You know, if you're not sure, seek out those answers rather than taking things at face value. To take everything with a pinch of salt, to be open but cynical as well, you know, keeping that balanced. And there is another one, not to take things personally, to do your best, to ask questions, to be authentic. Of course, there is another one. It's the underlying principle. So this week, what is underlying your actions? How authentic do you feel in them? Because it's that needs healing. It's that's going to connect us back to our soul, so we can recognize the wounds that have occurred because we haven't been, or perhaps not to the level that we're now ready to be, which can be scary, right? You know, we can almost get very comfortable in where we have been and where we are. And there, with this equinox, with this new moon in Aries, there is a great opportunity to take it up a notch. Now, we don't have to, but we are going to start to feel that conflict, okay, of who we are, demanding to grow a little bit more in our environment. Okay, so with that in mind, I just hear my fire. It's just lit. My fire is just lit in the background. Let's look at the energies. So I picked the Runic Tarot for the energies this week by Jack Seraphoth and Alan Dempster. And I picked these and then thought, I don't know if I match the energy. I don't know if I'm in that place. I don't know if my energy is the same. It doesn't matter this week. It doesn't matter whether you match an energy, whether an energy speaks to you. What is important is whether you match your own energy, whether you feel comfortable in your own energy. From there, everything grows. So really seeing yourself this week, I'm doing the Moon Key from next Saturday onwards, just before the equinox, as a course. And it's all about seeds and planting seeds and nurturing those seeds, but really seeing ourselves as the fertile ground within which those seeds will be nurtured. Not concentrating so much on the seeds at the moment or what they're even going to grow into, but really looking at the foundation of ourselves as the body that's going to nurture the growth of our own soul. Because without the physical body, the soul's growth can only get so far. Without the feelings, without the sensations, without life, the potential of the soul can only get so far. So really this week, looking at how authentic your physical actions are in relation to what is being asked of you from your soul now. Now that brings me back beautifully to divine timing, and it is very much about doing the best that you can in each moment. So I wanted time off this week and it hasn't happened. I've been on a creative, and next week I would have liked time off, but again, there's so much which I choose to do next week. That's not from a, oh, I haven't got time. I'm choosing to do that. And that feels important to recognize this week, to own what it is we have chosen to do, to own what it is we are part of, to own our own healing as well and our own feelings. But what I can do is go to bed a bit earlier, or I could get up a bit earlier and have some time for me, or I can, if I feel drawn to do something like this video, act on it, act on what it is I intuitively feel drawn to do, so that Monday this video has already been done. I've made space then. But if we do not act on what we are feeling, that divine timing kind of happens afterwards. We can look back and go, that's why that didn't happen, because I could have been doing X, Y, and Z. That's why that didn't happen, because I wasn't ready for that. So instead, we can really go into what we're feeling, heal that, and then be ready. It's about making ourselves ready for the divine timing that wants to come through for next year as we go into the Strength card, but also acknowledging that we are the tower, we are the physical tower, that enlightenment bolt needs to come through us, that shift of energy, that change within us needs to start from within, so that we can then release all the identities that we no longer are, if you think of the Tower card. Okay, so the moon at the bottom. I would have laughed if the tower was at the bottom. However, I haven't shuffled them up. So that feels important. You know, the changes aren't going to occur unless we shuffle what has happened since the full moon. Unless we can really mix up, you know, and look beyond the illusions of what has happened since last week, nothing's going to shift, nothing's going to occur. Three of Wands at the bottom of the pack. Okay, so that was then, this is now. Feels very poignant, almost like the whole theme for this reading. That was then, this is now. Okay, so energies for this week and how to... Oh, okay, so before we go any further, and that feels like a real turning point, before we go any further, we have the Nine of Swords and we have the Strength card at the bottom here. Being gentle with yourself, showing yourself some compassion, you know, looking at everything that you have carried, looking at where your mind has been and why it has been there, and the strength that you have gained from there, and the courage to say thank you, thank you, thank you. I am now ready to move forward, because the Nine of Swords is at the end, and it's just that mental blip, that mental threshold, if you will, that we're being acknowledged to walk over with compassion. You know, if we know something's going to be painful, we're going to avoid it at all costs. Okay, but if we can give ourselves everything we need in order to get through that, it's going to be a much gentler process. Strength back at the bottom of the pack again, despite shuffling. Okay, I wonder if that's going to be the theme this week. That was then. Oh, yeah, Eight of Swords. And what is that underneath? The Lovers. Okay, and the Chariot. You have a choice. We all have a choice, and sometimes the choice is recognizing that we have a choice, okay, rather than leaving it in the hands of divine timing or fate or whatever. The Lovers, the Eight of Swords, and the Chariot here is really recognizing that anything that suggests otherwise for you right now mentally, or for us all collectively mentally, isn't actually the case. So really looking at what is being reflected back to us in our choices or lack of choices, and the impact that that's having on our mental stability and our emotional ability to move forward from now until the beginning, possibly the end of July. Okay, so yeah, it will be the end of July. So it's going to be from the equinox through to the summer, the solstice. I couldn't think of the name then, which felt really important. It felt important to call it what it was, which feels quite key this week as well, to call something out for what it actually is. Okay, so with that in mind, oh, now I recognise it. Yeah, now, yeah. Nine of Pentacles at the bottom of the pack. So you can see here, this individual has actually almost taken the skin from the polar bear in the Strength card, and it's that gives her comfort. It's that's become her base, her foundation. And what I just recognised was the reason I didn't feel the energy of these cards is because they're quite harsh. They're quite direct and to the point, and my own judgment is that they are harsh, and I didn't really feel that. And I know that that's something within me to heal, my own observation of what it means to get to the point and how that can actually come across. So this week, really looking at your own views and your own judgments on yourself and what it is you actually long to say, and the effect that that has on your own authenticity. Okay. Yeah, if only we would treat others the way we treat ourselves. That's what I hear. That's really what I hear. Okay. So, energies this week and how to best navigate. Page of Cups at the bottom. I'm seeing a purple circle in my mind's eye. Monday, Tuesday, 2 for Wednesday. Okay, move that to one side. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Overall, and it's like I don't have enough room on my desk. I do not have enough room in this space for what is being shown and what I want to look into, and you know, the environment isn't right. And actually a little bit of maneuvering, acknowledging first that that's how we feel, a little bit of maneuvering, lining things up, aligning with things is going to bring that space this week. So I can see a purple circle in my mind's eye, and yes, some of it is a reflection obviously of the camera light and you know the picture behind that, and it is valuable to see the logical explanations behind things this week. It really is. It's going to help keep things grounded. However, it doesn't take away from the message. Okay, so we can find rationale for something, but it's not going to get rid of the message. Something just fell down in my kitchen. It's not going to get rid of the message this week, and there's going to be a continual circle cycle of transformation here. You know, it is really about looking at, they are all one and the same. So we can look at the logical reason behind something, but at the end of the day, I have a picture of my soul tree reflecting the light back to me. Okay, I have the purple, the violet circle in my mind's eye, which is a transformative cycle occurring, okay, on a soul level. So yes, it's one thing to explain something, and what's the message underneath it? Because you can talk yourself out of a paper bag. That's what I hear. You can talk yourself out of a paper bag, but there's still an underlying insight there that needs to be seen. And that brings me to the card that was underneath the pack, the Page of Cups. So when we see our magnificence, when we see our place in the universe, when we recognize that we are a channel, we are a vessel of source, we kind of do it from a distance. We almost have to do it from a distance and then bring it in slowly. Okay, and that's what's happening with the Page of Cups here underneath the Ace of Pentacles. That's what's happening with the Page of Cups here. So, you know, we can see how great we are and how things are shifting, and we can recognize our own divinity, and then we need to put physical steps in place. Otherwise it can become a bit much this week. Again, it's going back to that soul potential. Soul potential is potential. Without physical actions, it's not embodied, it's not empowered. This week is a real chance to empower our own soul's growth through our actions, and that's where the victory comes in. So we have the Six of Pentacles here. We need balance. We need balance of the conflict that we have within ourselves, and it is about what we give and what we get back in return. It is about no longer looking outside of us for the answers, no longer expecting others to give us what we need, and taking responsibility for nurturing this vessel, for nurturing the Page of Cups that we are, really honing in, what do I need? And if this person cannot give it to me, then thank you, thank you, thank you, because I can now acknowledge the deeper lesson here that I need to nurture myself in whatever area is occurring. So if someone doesn't believe in you, how well do you believe in yourself? Are they helping you believe in yourself by not believing in you? You know, it's all about flipping the narrative this week, and it's that's actually going to be the Three of Wands on the Monday. It's that's actually going to move us forward. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, yes. I had to get my affairs in order there. I had to really start to put things into place and acknowledge what day of the week it is. And that's that trippy energy next week that is available, because it's almost like we are letting go. We are getting our affairs in order of the life that once was on the Monday, because things are moving forward. Letting the ship sail now. Okay, I really, really see that. Now, who's to say whether you're on the ship or you're watching it go? That's going to be your choice. It's going to be your decision here. Okay, but I do see with the arrow, always looking up to the number 3, always looking up. That's actually the protection rune, but always looking up and knowing that you are held, you are protected, is all part of the creative cycle here. Because then we have the Six of Cups, and this is where I started to almost feel a bit of a blank. Come Tuesday, there are things that are going to ask us to see aspects from a different perspective, and that's where I had to move my double terminated obsidian out of the way. Obsidian or jet, I'm not 100% sure actually. I had to move it out of the way. Come Tuesday or Wednesday, we are being asked to really discern what is going on. We are being asked to really look at ourselves from a different perspective and to see all angles. And Tuesday and Wednesday will mold into each other, and what's behind it will come to light on the Thursday, because on the Tuesday we're going to get inklings, Six of Cups, of wanting that emotional harmony within us, and recognizing that actually some of it could be from childhood, some of it could be that we want more fun, that we want to play more, that we want to be more of a family. Yeah, really looking at what family means to us come the Tuesday. And this is going to be until the time of the sunflowers. Yeah, this is going to be until June time, really looking at what we're planting in regards to what home is, what a family is, what is stability for us. And that's going to take some massive discernment, because on the Wednesday we have 2 cards, the Queen of Swords here and also the Hanged Man. Now on this, she's actually, they were like this, so she's actually pointing down towards the Hanged Man and saying, okay, this is where looking at every angle's got you, that's great, complete the cycle here. Complete the cycle. What are you going to do with this information? Are you going to turn it on its head? Are you going to flip the narrative? Have you done that enough? Because on the Thursday, we start to move into the energy of our first major arcana, which is It's not our only one, actually. Our first major arcana, which is the devil. So it is, again, about recognizing what's underneath it all. That Page of Cups, that ability to see our own light, our own divinity, our own emotional connection to source is really going to be key this week. And in this card, he's actually saying, shh, we don't need to make a song and dance about it. Sometimes when we over-express things, or when we overshare, which is not something I would normally say, but when we overshare, it's about looking at why we feel the need to do that. Okay, so really having peace with who we are and our divinity this week is going to speak volumes in comparison to, oh, look at me, I'm this, and this. Being at peace with that. Yeah, really having discernment with ourselves and seeing just how enlightened we are with our physical actions. You know, I think, yeah, I was going to come up with some kind of quote, but actually embodying it, right? It's not needed. On the Friday, the light just came back up then. Did you see that? On the Friday, we have the Two of Swords here, and it is, again, that protection, but also that standstill rune, Isa rune there. So on the one hand, it's that fight or flight, almost wanting to leave the situation. On the other hand, knowing that the only way through it actually is through it, and to have peace with that, to have peace with the animal instincts that are almost protecting us now. Going back to that strength card, letting that be our comfort, letting our emotions become one with our emotions this week. Yes, I can acknowledge I don't like this situation, or I'm feeling X, Y, Z, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with what I feel. I'm vulnerable, I'm raw, I'm naked underneath it, but what I feel, I'm at peace with. Okay, because that is that Page of Cups. Recognizing how mature we have become, or how much maturation may still be required this week in regards to the emotions that are being reflected straight back at us. On the Saturday, we have our second, oh, I love that because it's on the day I'm doing the Moon Eye Key. We have our second major arcana, which is the Star card. So we know our light, we've seen our light, and then we're battling it almost. Really looking at the conflict that we may have in ourselves in regards to our own power and our own light on the Saturday. And is there anything else to add to that? Do you know, all I feel drawn to do is look at the word the star backwards, which is what would happen in a mirror. Okay, so to really look at what is being reflected back again over this weekend in regards to our highest vision, so we can want peace on earth. How peaceful are we? You're really looking back, and star backwards is rats. Okay, so really, you know, that moment where you go, oh shit, yeah, I can see that actually. That Saturday, taking it with some lightheartedness, okay, and realising that it's all part of the journey. It's all part of, it's nothing worse than seeing how much further you have to go, and that could very much be a potential by the weekend, just before the equinox, as that light starts to come back in again. But then it's that that's going to help us carry this forward, or it could if we choose to. So it's all about our perspective. Okay, and that's where that discernment needs to come in. Are we going to think, oh my gosh, I've got so far to go? Or, okay, didn't quite realise I still had those steps to do, but hey, you know, everything I've built up over the years, the skills that I've developed will help me do that. Because on the Sunday we have the Eight of Pentacles, and it is very much about honing skills this week, really honing your skills, but on a deeper level. You know, that's not to say woodworking skills aren't incredible, reading the tarot, healing, that kind of stuff, but looking at the energy behind it, honing that mastery. 8 is mastery. Okay, so really looking at the infinite. You know, it's got an infinite shape, the karmic relationship that you have with your skills. If you can recognize the energy behind what it is you offer, you see you, and then your skills really start to develop. Okay, and that's the potential this week. Regardless what's going on, regardless of the ups and downs and everything else, there is great potential for harmony here, physically and emotionally. Okay, because we have the Six of Pentacles and the Six of Cups. There is great potential for peace here, even in the times of indecisions with the Two of Swords, provided we are okay with the raw, naked feeling of our emotions, okay, and we own them. You know, we allow that light to be seen, that Selka, that animal instinct. I had a wonderful person come through today, come through at work, and this individual can see animals, and they said they saw a lion by my side. And at first I thought, I don't know how I feel about that, even though I'm a Leo. But actually, as the hours have gone on, it makes sense, and I'm being really encouraged to own that energy at the moment. So really recognizing you may see animals around you this week, really honing into their messages. So I bought 2 birdhouses to go on my window so that I can see the birds, but they're like little mini homes. The message is there, you know, being able to see the home that I have and having that reflected back is really key for me this week. So looking at the information from the animals this week is going to be really important in regards, now I can see why, in regards to your vision. So I couldn't quite place the position of the almost dragon-like creature here on the star. It's almost like it doesn't belong there. It's almost like it's intimidating, wrong energy, if you will, and that's the animal energy within us all and how we see it. And until we stop being in conflict with that, things are going to be difficult. So really embracing the light that our shadow and our animal self can bring forward. Recognizing the messages from the animals this week. You know, if you're walking along, I had a Bowen's treatment the other day and there was a centipede on the floor. So of course I came home with thanks for the messages. I came home and looked up centipede and it was spot on to where I was at. So really recognizing the messages for their relevance to your physical life this week is going to be key, because only then will you see where there is harmony. Only then will you see that you are actually taking authentic steps to where you want to be. So we have the devil and we have the star, and this week it feels very important to recognize that whatever is holding us back is also going to take us straight to where we want to be. It's all in the narrative. Are we going to let our emotions hold us back, or are we going to let them steer us forward? Are we going to let our situation frustrate us, or are we going to use that energy to transmute and transform? Yeah, that violet circle there, okay? Are we going to fight our soul, or are we going to walk alongside it and with it and embody it and its potential this week? So we have, I've just realised, talk about see things from a different perspective. We don't have 2 major arcanas, we have 3. We have the Hanged Man. So Wednesday is going to be a pivotal moment. It may not feel like it, but Wednesday is going to be a pivotal moment in how we see ourselves and what it is we now need to let go of. Okay, so it may feel like a normal humdrum day. I'm trying to think what I'm doing Wednesday. Shopping and housework. It may feel like a normal humdrum day, but actually Wednesday is going to be a major game changer. Okay, so really keeping an eye out for those signs of fate Wednesday in regards to how we view ourselves and our own vision and the vision that is held for us. There's an army, guys. There's an army behind each and every one of us that is trying to help us achieve our potential. And it's very much about recognizing you are one of them. We are all part of the team. And yeah, I hear the song, fight for your right to party. Fight for your right to live a good life. Take those steps. Keep moving through those challenges. See the perspective of what they're actually doing, which is bringing you back to the strength and courage of your own lineage here. Okay, so I am getting a little bit of the news that has been occurring with the star people. Just keep an open view this week. That's what I really hear. Just keep an open view. And I'm being drawn to look at the devil with his finger on his lips. You know, just mum's the word. That's what I hear. Mum's the word. Just keep an open view of what is going on in the skies above us this week, whether that's planetary or potential. Oh yes, of course, the motherships and things like that. Just really keep an open view here, especially in regards to any conflict of how you may feel or how society may portray the energies that are coming in. Okay, so we then have 2 sword cards. Interesting, sword cards, not saw, sword cards. So we have the Queen of Swords and the 2 of Swords here. It doesn't have to be, or maybe it does. That is up for you to decide. But whatever you decide, however you decide to be this week, have peace with it. Own it, nurture it, acknowledge it. Look at your own beliefs around how you are and So for argument's sake, with me, with the feeling to the point and direct, there's still healing there for me to do. Yeah, that's all I feel. Is there anything else with your mental healing that needs to occur in order for you to be able to nurture your own peace this week? That's key. Does this give you peace? Does this support your need for peace? Does this bring you emotional stability? Is your mind and your feelings, how aligned are they? Okay, does this help? If not, what do you need to do about it? We then have 2 pentacle cards. So 2 swords, 2 pentacles, which is beautiful. A lot of balance there, a lot of union. And the pentacle cards are the 6 of Pentacles and the 8 of Pentacles. So really keeping that harmony in your own skills, really recognizing the energy behind what it is you are giving and how much work you've put in. It's up to us to recognize ourselves. It's up to us to appreciate what we do, you know, and it's really that constant battle of trying to get that from an external source may not fare us well in regards to what it is we're trying to build. We then have 1 wand card. So I'm going to come back to that because we have 2 cup cards, 6 of Cups and the Page of Cups. And it is an inner child energy here, but I want to go further than that. It's even further than an innocent energy here. It's an original energy here that we are being asked to embrace as the child of the universe. You know, our masculine, our feminine, but also our innocence here really needs to be nurtured and to feel safe in order to move forward. How do we do that? By recognizing the beauty in the world, including ourselves. Okay, really, really recognizing that, offering our cup up to be filled. Yeah, knowing that actually we need something more now. We need something that is going to fill this yearning heart. And what is that? Well, who knows? Because the 1 wand card that we have is the 3 of Wands. Come the equinox, guys. Come the equinox, by the end of the week, yeah, and that new moon in Aries, things are going to really move forward. Ships are going to set sail. This week very much is about putting your affairs in order. I raised an eyebrow there because, yeah, you know, we're talking affairs on many levels. Putting them in order now, taking stock, letting the healing occur within and around us as we see what is needed being reflected back. Okay, so 1 card. I just hear 1 ring to rule them all, and it's what are you going to commit to now? 8 of Pentacles at the bottom of the pack. What are you going to commit to? What skill have you mastered enough to take forward? Okay. Oh gosh. So I have at the bottom of the pack there are the 8 of Swords again and the King of Wands. And the reason I laugh is because I was just hearing about teaching. Definitely something I want to take forward more, and it's going to be more leadership roles, definitely. So okay, this weekend was very much about calling the healers amongst us out, not in a negative way, but in a you're needed. And this week or more, you're going to hear that more, that people are being called out because they're needed. Leaders, teachers, carers, midwives, medicine people, healers. Next level stuff, guys. Next level. And you know, if you've been sat in the background thinking, oh, I don't know, well, my phone has just said it's time. It's time. It really is time to open to yourself. Just to open to yourself. That, you know, my fire is going mad now. Okay. Not to fear your fire. Do not fear your flame. Do not fear your soul. Okay. Or your ability. Don't doubt your ability to hold space for your own potential this week. Am I going to have a card for that? 6 of Pentacles, 6 of Pentacles and the Queen of Swords again. Now, you saw me shuffle them. It's almost like I want something different. I want a different answer here, but actually that's it. You know, when we recognize who we are, things around us often need to change. What we give, what we get back, that often needs to go up another level. And you know, the Six of Pentacles, the more shadow aspect is someone lording it over somebody, and that can almost stop us going for our potential because we don't want to be that person, or we can have other people doing that to us. It's the end now. Yeah, if it's not nurturing you, and it's not nurturing the relationship, and it's not nurturing the situation, it is about recognizing your worth. It's that that's going to bring the harmony through, and being okay with what now needs to occur. And in the middle of the pack we have the Hermit. Oh, the stars just popped itself back out. Yeah, of course. Middle of the pack we have the Hermit. But what is in the Hermit's lamp? What is the light that guides the Hermit forward? It's the star. Okay, so when you need that time, an Emperor at the bottom of the pack, an equinox is going to be a humdinger in the most glorious way. I see fireworks. When you need that time to figure out who you are, knowing that what you're actually doing is increasing your vision. What you're actually doing is taking steps towards where it is you're heading. I think that's it, guys, really. You know, yeah, how many more times can we be shown who we are before we actually believe it? It's time to believe in yourself. Take care. Have the most incredible, incredible week. New moon, equinox, and I'll see you next week. Take care.